Talitha Kumi sisters and everyone else watching. Welcome to the Talitha Culture Show. My name is Serena, and we just talk about trending topics in faith and culture, and how we can take the message of Talitha Kumi, or little girl arise, which is Mark 5:41 in Aramaic, and apply that to just our lives, and especially my take on things, my perspective. Like, comment, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts below. Talitha Kumi. So we are going to dive right back into the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively feud or lawsuit. One of the trending topics right now about the case is that Hollywood Reporter came out with this David and Goliath poster or cover photo, whatever, of the article. One of the things that I noticed about it is that Justin's back is facing Blake Lively. Everyone else has their own opinions about it. They're saying like it's Blake Lively being David, but Justin also has a sling in his hand. So David is the one that has the sling, not Goliath. Both of them have like slings in their hands, so I'm not sure what their portrayal is. I wish someone like the cartoonist or the AI person, I don't know, whoever made that image, the graphic person, should come out and give their own comments and interpretation on it. What they talk about primarily in the article is Justin's faith, and I haven't read the article myself, but essentially from what other people have reported on is that Justin is so spiritual, he's so ultimately he's pretty religious regarding being Baha'i, and Blake isn't, and at least she's not familiar with his religion. I don't know if they talked about her faith, or if she has a faith, or if she has any type of spiritual foundation or religious foundation in her life and in how she lives her life and views the world. I found that interesting. I wish they would have talked about her worldview as well, because we could really see, we could be able to see too how she looks at the world, and based on like her faith especially. But it makes a lot of sense. I mean, I already I think touched upon that in one of my videos, maybe like I think I posted it like a couple weeks ago or a month ago, where Justin, listening to a lot of his podcast interviews, and I just right off the bat saw that Justin was very spiritual, and he was very communicative, vulnerable, and transparent about himself, his mental, spiritual state, his emotional state. In his podcasts and his interviews, he's always very transparent about that. And everybody went really crazy about the latest interview he did on the Gents Talk podcast, I think it's called. It was a great interview. I just have more respect for him watching that interview, like his demeanor on the podcast. You could see that he had this heaviness about him. To me, that was telling, like where he was at mentally and spiritually and emotionally when he did that interview. So that interview was right before the Blake Lively's the complaint, I think it's like a civil complaint. So with all that said, right, we're talking about Justin's faith. I could see that how he is so like spiritual, and he's so communicative, and he's so vulnerable, and he's all about talking about those things. And I think that she's not used to that, and I think I've heard maybe Candace or either Daily Dose of Dana or Stuff with the Deeds, either one of those people, or maybe even Be Better, but they were talking about how a lot of people aren't used to that. And for someone like Blake, who is what people have described her to be, just mean girl vibes, she just maybe wasn't used to that. She wasn't used to him. And I think this is where she might have even gotten defensive in just who she is that she doesn't get deep like that. And she doesn't, or maybe too, it's like it was attractive to her, and maybe like Candace had said, it's like Ryan might have caught on to that, and he didn't like that, and so he came in and asked for the dailies and all these things, or Blake asked for the dailies for Ryan, who knows. But I think ultimately what we can take from this is that yes, people that are more spiritually and religiously inclined and in tune, people who are more secular and who don't have any spiritual or religious personalities and just interests, they won't really be able to understand on the deeper level of things. And I think that's why even like someone like Jenny Slate might have felt uncomfortable talking about the sanctity of motherhood, because for the most part, we know that a lot of more modern feminist movements absolutely get really hostile when you use more religious and spiritual sounding words about motherhood, the sanctity of motherhood. I mean, even maternal instincts. A lot of more modern feminist ideologies don't like that aspect of, I guess, that type of language or that type of terminology. They'd rather you use more neutral terminology that makes everyone feel inclusive, right? And so saying something like the sanctity of motherhood could have sounded not inclusive enough for someone as woke as Jenny Slate. So I can see that. I can see how she put in a complaint about that, because maybe she thought it wasn't woke enough for her. It wasn't woke enough language for her. First of all, they're men, so it's like uncommon to hear and see men who have more spiritual and emotional and deeper conversations, but to also be talking about spiritual and religious terminology, even in professional environments, might seem unprofessional to someone, and who might have stepped on the wrong toes when using that type of terminology. I think that's where the Hollywood Reporter kind of got that right. That could have definitely rubbed everyone the wrong way in Hollywood. And Justin is kind of like not Hollywood, to be honest. I mean, as much as we like to think he is, even if he is an actor, he probably just doesn't fit in the box of Hollywood. A lot of people who come out of Hollywood don't talk about religion or politics, or they just have, they're on the left for the most part, because it's Hollywood. They promote liberal, progressive agendas, and that's just what they're about. Just a really relativistic viewpoint of life and the script that they want and the narrative that they want to ultimately portray in Hollywood. Justin Baldoni's co-host or ex-co-host, Liz Plank, and when I first came across her social media seemed really, just like a typical feminist page, and I didn't really have any thoughts about it, because I already knew that that I kind of knew that Justin was a feminist himself. It wasn't a surprise that when I went to her social media that she was also I think her name is like feminist something on TikTok or maybe Instagram. One of the things that I really thought was just like next level for her, for someone like that. And I guess it doesn't surprise me, but it also does surprise me, because when people cross the line, I feel like that's when they should definitely be called out. I totally get that she is someone that believes in fighting for reproductive rights and abortion rights and all those things. But when it comes to like actively inappropriately touching people for a TikTok video, and people that are not doing anything to her, people that are, believing what they're believing in, and she's ridiculing them, she's assaulting them in public. It's really, I'm surprised that no one punched her in the face, to be honest, because I would have totally like double leg take down that girl if she did that to me. It's just sad that someone who supposedly fighting for equality and yet is just as violent in her own way and just as despicable, to be honest, as her claims are to be against people that are conservative or conservative men, especially. Like, again, she seems like a typical feminist liberal, but I think that's where she definitely crossed the line, and I want to expose that, because I think that she's kind of getting off the hook with this whole thing. I think it's great that she quit Justin's podcast, because where it seems like it's going, it seems like Justin is not going to be going back to Hollywood, or at least he's not going to be a part of that part of Hollywood, wherever. I don't know what part of Hollywood it is, but he is not going to be going back to Hollywood the same way. If he's going to stay in Hollywood, he's going to do something different, and he's not going to associate with the same type of people. And women are mean. Women are very mean. Like, men can be mean, but like women can be very mean, catty. And nowadays, a lot of women like Liz Plank, just downright hateful. I am definitely team Justin, and let me know your thoughts below, what you think about the whole case. I just think it's sad that Justin's family is going through this, and I just pray and wish him the best. So I think this is going to be my last video on this topic. If you want more spicy details on this topic, there are so many other great people talking about this, specifically Candace Owens. She has some great videos and coverage on it. I just wanted to give my perspective, especially like from a Christian perspective, and how I'm just kind of taking it all in. It's definitely really interesting, and I think it just teaches us all a lesson that Hollywood is not what we think it is, and I think we should stop glorifying and worshiping and idolizing Hollywood and actresses and actors in general. Yeah, go out there and share the gospel, share the word, share your faith, and share the message of Talitha Kumi, little girl arise. See you all later. Love you.